Hi, everybody. Let me try to fix my background again here. Hang on. Okay, so here we are I am gonna continue with Texas versus Billy Delgado. This is going to be the closing arguments and the verdict and verdict charge. I know that this has already been done. Everybody probably already knows about it. But again, I'm new to streaming and I had some problems, so to speak, with issues and learning everything this week. So I'm a little behind, um, but now getting caught up. So let's go ahead and share my screen and we'll get going here. I'm going to skip through the jury instructions because we don't really need to know that right now.
Case about choices and consequences, and how on June 1st of 2024, that man sitting right there made a fateful choice that has consequences for which he must be held accountable for. Now, what choice did he make? He chose to commit the offense of aggravated assault of a family member with a deadly weapon, which resulted in serious bodily injury. Let's go over those elements. You heard testimony when it comes to on or about June 1st, 2024, from the investigators that responded to the case, from Investigator Lopez to Amasquita, Mark Vela, Florencio Barrera, how they got a call and they were dispatched to 2420 North Smith Avenue for a shooting call. You heard the victim, Erica. She took the stand and she told you, she testified that she went to Billy Delgado's residence because he called her over because of some issue with their daughter. Let's move on to the second element. In Webb County, Texas. It happened on 2420 North Smith Avenue. I asked Officer Amasquita and even Erica testified that that residence is located in Laredo, Texas, which is in Webb County. Let's move on to the next element. The defendant, Billy Delgado. What evidence do we have? Well, we saw Officer Amasquita testify. We saw his body cam. You'll be able to take that with you in the back. He confessed. Yeah, I shot her mom. Who's her? Emmy, his daughter, who happens to be Erica's daughter
And
as well.
remember, Emmy is
We
the
see on
daughter
IMDb
that they
surveillance
share.
footage, and we see it point blank. Look, it's right there, point blank.
Emmy, short
Aiming
for
a gun right
Esmeralda.
at Erica through the passenger side window. Erica IDs. I heard 3 shots through my windshield, and as I drive by, I see Billy shooting, pointing a gun at me. And let's not forget the forensic scientists that came over and confirmed that there was gunshot residue on Billy Delgado after Mark Vela got samples from his hands and sent it out for testing. But ladies and gentlemen, the most important one, he confessed on June 1st, 2024. He confessed back then, and he took the stand, and he confessed on the stand as well. Check, check, check. All right, let's talk about the next element. Intentionally, knowingly, and or recklessly. Well, it started May 19th, prior to June 1st. Erica and Kayla took the stand, and what did they say? Erica said on May 19th, almost 2 weeks prior to the date in question, Billy told her, enjoy your birthday, because this will be her last one. Kayla overheard that same conversation and could confirm that's what Billy said. So he had a plan already. He had a plan that he wanted to execute. And execute he did. There he is. Look at State's Exhibit 4. He's laying in wait. Erica's up there. You see her coming in a green Kia Soul. He's laying in wait, waiting to ambush her to execute that plan. And execute he did. What did Florencio Barrera say? In my experience, he was about 5 feet away from her. He didn't fire one shot to eliminate a threat like he's going to later claim. He fired 10 rounds. He had a purpose. A man with a purpose, walking with a purpose. State's Exhibit 5 will show the other angle of Bina's home surveillance footage. And what is he doing? She pulls over in distraught. He's walking with a purpose, fidgeting with his pockets. Go, look at it. He's fidgeting with his pockets, touching his gun. He goes back to his apartment and he puts his gun. Oh, and what else did he put up there? 2 loaded magazines. He didn't get to finish the purpose he set out for. He gets arrested once Amasquita gets her. And what does he say? I emptied a whole clip in her mother. Again, who's her? Emmy. Mother being Erica. He was in handcuffs in the patrol unit, talking to a neighbor. And you can see it on Amasquita's body cam. And what does he tell this neighbor? What am I supposed to do? I'll just deal with the consequences. He took the witness stand as well, and he admitted yesterday, he took the witness stand and he admitted to shooting her intentionally. Now, let me talk about serious bodily injury. Now, you're going to get the law from the court, which you already did. It's right here. The definition of serious bodily injury is here. Let me discuss it real quick. Serious bodily injury is bodily injury that creates a substantial risk of death or that causes death, serious permanent disfigurement, or protracted loss or impairment of the function of any bodily member or organ. What did Dr. Mederos come? He came here on his busy schedule and he took the stand. And what did he say? He said that if I did not intervene and do the medical treatment and surgery on Erica, she would have 100% had a chance of dying. That at any time that he was doing his surgeries, his laparotomies, as he called it.
This is the quickest way to clear out stuck poop.
The number one food.
Which he did twice, by the way.
Apologies, everybody. I do not have YouTube Premium, and I can't afford it at the moment, so you'll occasionally see commercials.
Hemorrhagic shock mean? He defined it for us. And I asked him, if that were to be left untreated, what could it result in? He said death. That her pH levels were below a certain level, to the point that if somebody has them and if they're not treated, they die. That's what she had. pH levels below the level he described to where she could have died. Ladies and gentlemen, bodily injury that creates a substantial risk of death or that causes death, check. I think we got that. We've proven that beyond a reasonable doubt. But let's continue. He also talked about how, and that's page 17, ladies and gentlemen, on the medical records, they're in evidence, how she lost 4 liters of blood. And I asked him, had they not been replenished, what could have happened, Dr. Mederos? She would have died.
Absolutely.
And he goes into discussion about
That girl
discussing with
had
detail
a
how much blood
strong
she had to be
will to
replenished,
live,
and it's
like
in the records.
crazy.
He also testified that she's going to suffer from short gut syndrome, meaning a large part of her intestines were cut out and she doesn't have them. It's going to affect her ability to get nutrients, to live a long, healthy life, be able to do certain activities that you and I take for granted. She spent 363 days in the hospital. That's close to a year. Losing a large part of your intestine. Let's go back. Protracted loss or impairment of the function of any bodily member or organ. Check. This is how Batman left her. This is the picture on the right. That's 4 days prior to today. 4 days. And look how we left her. I believe she even testified that she still had a staple, and you can see it right there. Oh, but yes. She did come
Yeah,
in
they're
walking
not going to
normally
really
and looked
show
fine.
it. She really
Okay,
doesn't have
yes.
much skin on her stomach.
Serious permanent disfigurement. Check. I asked Dr. Meneros, are you familiar with the legal definition of serious bodily injury? And he said yes. I asked him, as to all three possible definitions, do the injuries that Erica sustained at the hands of Billy Delgado, would you, in your medical opinion, classify them as serious bodily injury? And he said yes to all three. As a matter of fact, he took the stand up here and he even said, yes, I caused serious bodily injury to Erica Torres. That's another element that we have proven beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, who is our victim? You heard it from the horse's mouth. She came up here, she testified as to what she experienced, what she went through, what she remembers, what she didn't remember, not because she was trying not to remember anything, because she literally couldn't remember because of what he did to her. We saw Pina's home surveillance footage where she's driving her green Kia Soul. And how do we know she was driving the green Kia Soul? Because Kayla testified that she drives the green Kia Soul. Kayla also testified that she was on the phone as Billy was raining bullets at Erica. And again, he confessed back then on June 1st, 2024 to Officer Mesquita, and he confessed again when he took the stand yesterday. Another element met beyond a reasonable doubt. Let's talk about the deadly weapon element now. Deadly weapon. So again, you're given the law by the court, by that man right there, the judge. He gave you the law. It's in here. A deadly weapon, we know automatically, we call it per se in our legal terms, but it's automatically considered a deadly weapon, a firearm. We know States Exhibit 6 is right here. Y'all can check it out. Y'all can take it back and look at it. Investigator Juan Lopez sees a black Taurus G3C pistol. I asked Lopez and I asked Mesquita, Officer Mesquita, is a Taurus G3C pistol considered a firearm? Yes, it is a firearm. It's meant to kill.
Yeah.
We look at Pina's home surveillance footage. And actually, I can go back. You can see the firearm he used right there on his hand. Erica described it. And he admits to it too. You can see an offer on Mesquita's body cam. Where did you put the gun? Oh, and I believe, quote for quote, oh, it's on the chair right there on the black chair. Sure enough, that's where it is, with 2 loaded magazines. And then again, he took the stand yesterday and he testified that he did use a deadly weapon. Ladies and gentlemen, there's another element meant beyond a reasonable doubt. Let's go to the final element. So again, the court has provided you the law. Here's the law. This, it's going to be right here with you. You take it there and you go read it and you look into it. You base the evidence and see if it matches, if it qualifies. 71.003, family includes individuals who are former spouses of each other or individuals who are parents of the same child without regard to marriage. Section 71.0021B talks about dating violence. So in this case, it's committed against the victim, Erica Torres, with whom the actor, that man right there, Billy Delgado, has or has had a dating relationship. Ladies and gentlemen, we heard from Erica. They dated since 2018. They got married on March 21st of 2021. They divorced 2025. In between June 1st, 2024 is when the
incident
Billy Delgado
happened.
took, that shooting happened in between. They were married when he committed that crime. Married.
She spent just 2 days shy of a
So
year in the hospital.
satisfied. Oh, they both testified. Erica took the stand. Billy took the stand. Yes, we share a daughter, Emmy. Individuals who are parents of the same child without regard to marriage. Satisfied as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, based on the evidence presented, the state of Texas has proven beyond a reasonable doubt that each element of the offense alleged against Billy Delgado has been satisfied. On top of the mountain of evidence, ladies and gentlemen, he confessed back then. He confessed on the stand yesterday. You should find him
Kinda
guilty
had to.
beyond
It's
a
all
reasonable
on
doubt.
camera.
Aggravated assault of a family member
And
with a deadly weapon,
each of them
causing
were
serious
on
bodily injury.
phones. Took
Now,
phones with other
I
people.
anticipate defense is going to come up, and I anticipate that they're going to deflect from the situation at hand. And that's that. Not focus on the choice that man made and the consequences that he should be accountable for, but focus on the victim and how she's a bad mother and how she looks fine and how she's a bad person, airing out all her dirty laundry. Ladies and gentlemen, she took the stand herself. She aired her dirty laundry for you.
Seniors 50 years and older who drive less than 50 miles per day can now apply to reduce their car insurance rate.
She didn't need them to do it.
Sorry, guys. I know that it's
She went up
super
there and she
annoying.
told her faults. She admitted to them. I also anticipate that they will probably argue that, well, Billy did what he did because he had to defend somebody. In this case, he had to defend Emmy. You're going to go back there, and there's going to be a defense of third person. And defense of third person, and again, you have this, it's being to you by the court. It says, under the circumstances as the actor reasonably believes them to be, the actor will be justified in using force to protect himself against the unlawful force he reasonably believes to be threatening the third person he seeks to protect. And important, the actor reasonably believes that his intervention is immediately, another important word, immediately necessary to protect the third person. Okay, so he's trying to protect Emmy from who? This Uncle Louis, who never made an appearance in this case other than just him saying it.
I believe the
As a matter of
Uncle
fact,
Louis
Investigator
was
Vaquera,
and
they
still
looked into it, the
prison?
multidisciplinary team. There was no merit in that allegation. There was nothing there. So why pursue when there's nothing there? They did their job, investigated it. Protected from him, from Louis. Protect from what? From Erica, because he was going to take Emmy back to Louis. Well, if I recall from the testimony, Billy was supposed to have Emmy until Sunday. Erica was supposed to pick up Emmy on Sunday. No, he calls her a day before. Hey, I'm having issues with her daughter. Come get her. So a day before Erica's supposed to have Emmy. He calls her over. So he calls Erica, who may be a danger to Emmy, over on his day where he's supposed to have his daughter. Remember, Emmy was in his apartment eating pancakes that he happily was making for her, playing with toys that he gave her, according to his roommate's testimony. What danger was she in? There was no danger. There was no immediate danger. There was no danger at all. He called her over to execute his plan so that he can ambush her and kill her. And he executed that plan, but he failed. And luckily he failed because she was able to come up here and testify for you and tell her what she went through,
Yeah, no
tell
kidding.
you all what she
She
went
had,
through.
wow,
Instead of
that
being
woman is
16.
amazing.
And Judge, I'm going to go ahead and yield the rest of my time.
All right. Thank you. That was 18 minutes. Defense.
May it please the court, opposing counsel, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Let me address you. I'm not going to be yelling at you. I'm not going to be showing you gross pictures to try to deflect from the issues at hand. Okay? So what are the issues at hand?
Whatever, dude.
The state seems to believe
Part
that
of a
it's
trial is
just an
showing the
aggravated assault with
pictures.
serious bodily injury. As you see in your jury instructions, you're going to see that it says when the issue of the application of defense to a third person is raised, which it has in this case, the burden of persuasion is on the prosecution to disprove the justification beyond a reasonable doubt. If you have a reasonable doubt as to whether the defendant's conduct was justified by the defense of a third person, you must find the defendant not guilty. Okay? So they're going to try to disprove defense of a third person by argument. Okay? Argument. They didn't put up any evidence up there to say that there was not a defense of a third person. They failed. So it's just not those things they showed up there, check, check, check. He forgot to check this one. Okay? He didn't check this one because they failed to do it. They could have called Uncle Louie to come up here. Did you do it? No. Disproved. Okay? Of our defense. They had to be immediate. Had to be an immediate threat. That's why he didn't wait till Sunday. If you want to take care of it now, okay? If it wasn't immediate, he would wait till Sunday. If he wanted to ambush her and kill her, he would have waited till Sunday. She was going to come over. Okay? It didn't flow that way. It doesn't flow right. Right? In his brain, and how does his brain get in this position? Will we be here, first of all, if he wasn't abused all these years? Would we be here? Probably not. Okay? So remember how he's been shaped over these years. He threw a weight at him. They hit him several times. She told you she's been arrested for beating up her own brother. And her words are laying hands on somebody. Okay, she got arrested. Okay, Billy says that she's got friends in high places. Nothing happened to her. You know, we talked about second chances. How many chances does she have? Her brother, Billy, several times. She admitted to drinking with her kids in the back seat. One of her kids. That's a felony offense here in Texas. Anything happen? Okay, keeps going over and over in his mind. That's what he's thinking. Okay. And it's in the instructions what a reasonable person is, okay? It tells you at that moment what he's thinking. And it's just not that moment. It's everything that pushed you to that moment, okay? The abuse, psychological abuse, verbal abuse, the physical abuse, it shaped him, okay? I can't get any help, okay? Because of her friends. Nothing's going to happen. He's had enough. Now something's happened to his daughter, so he's got to act. And he acted. That's what it was. Now, there is a jury instruction for that. The state can't disprove it that he did it to defend his daughter. Okay? She's being abused. They even told you during voir dire, I believe. They said, we have a single witness rule. All we need is one witness. The state always does that. Well, in this case, we have one witness of the abuse. And guess what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't apply. It doesn't apply now. He heard it. Did you go talk to the guy that did it? He just got out of prison. If I was a cop, that's what I would do. The guy got out of prison. Let me go see what he wants to tell me. Okay, maybe he'll confess. I don't know. I called him. I couldn't find him. It's good enough for me. She didn't say anything. Her mom just got shot. Dad's in jail.
I think
Kid
we're gonna
climbs up.
do an excursion, we need to go off and down.
And the end of the case. That's the end of the case. Okay? The kid goes back to the same situation, the same family where the abuses occurred to Mr. Delgado. And that's the end of that case right there. And who knows what that child's
The
going to be a
victim
product of
blaming
in
in
the
this
future because of all the
is
abuse.
just god
that's going on.
awful.
It's we weren't disputing anything. We saw the video, ladies and gentlemen. They didn't need to bring an expert to say there was gun residue. Okay, nobody's disputing that. Nobody's disputing the shooting. We're disputing why it was shot. Why did he shoot? Okay, that's the whole issue. Do you need to take a look at this? We have the instruction. The judge thought that it weren't merit for you to take a look at. Okay, that's why it's on here. There's evidence to back it up. If there was no evidence, we wouldn't get this instruction. So we have evidence. Take a look at it. The state has to disprove it before you get to a guilty verdict. Okay, they didn't put on any evidence to disprove it. They're going to try to argue it. What the lawyers say is not evidence. Okay? What lawyers say up here is not evidence. It's what comes out of that witness chair. Okay,
It
whoever's
is
up
not, but most
right? You
people
heard
take it as evidence.
Erica's cousin say she had it on speakerphone, and I could hear Billy was calling where I said, it's going to be your last birthday. When Erica testifies, what does she say?
Can you please just hear me out? No, all work management platforms are the same. Monday.com is the one you'll actually love to use. Did you see the dashboards?
We drop off the kid. He straps her in, comes over to my car, and says, it's going to be your last birthday. So they didn't get that story straight. All right? Because there's two different versions.
Whatever, dude.
All right? So it's different. And why would he say that? Why would if he wants to kill her? I mean, just do it. He could have done it right there when he dropped off the kid.
Well,
Why didn't he do it?
you think
not
he
true.
tried?
All right? He had plenty of opportunities,
Good
plenty of
Lord.
abusive situations when he got dropped off in the middle of the night. Hey, leave the house. I don't care. They're stuck in traffic. They're trying to exit so that they can drop her off going to San Antonio. What does she do? Gets her kids and starts walking down the freeway. I mean, what kind of mother does that? Okay? Wait till you drop me off so my kids are safe. It's not about your kids being safe. Okay? It's about her. All right? It's unfortunate she got shot. It's horrible. Billy told you. I
Unfortunate.
regret it.
Whatever, dude.
I didn't want to shoot her, but he had to do it to protect his daughter. Right? In his mind, it was just
He
that
wasn't even
moment.
claiming it
And I
was
told
her
Jim
that was
Bodire, I
doing the
said,
abuse,
if I could
really.
judge
He was
you
claiming
for
it was
your worst
Uncle
5 minutes of your
Louis.
life,
Her Uncle Louis.
what would be my verdict on you? All right? And that's what you're going to be doing to Billy. 5 minutes when you should be considering the 4 years of it together. All right? Take a look at the entire picture. Don't focus in on what they're trying to show you. They're going to show you gross things and bad things, and they say all these things. Do you really need to get those issues proved? I mean, really, it was a shooting. She's injured. She was the wife. They've already done that. Get to the good stuff. Okay? Show me how you disprove that the little kid was not abused, that he was trying to protect her. Show me that. They're going to have words. They're not going to have evidence. Okay? No evidence. So they can't disprove that. And because of all that, you have to find him not guilty. Because they can't disprove it. It's their burden, not mine. I raised the issue. They needed to put up evidence. They didn't do it. So it's a verdict of not guilty. That's the reason you get to not guilty. Not because there was no weapon, not because they weren't dating, not because of the other issues. It's because of that. Okay? And all of this was focused toward a prosecution, and it's more vindictive. It's more of anything. I mean, who would take pictures of your daughter to go show your granddaughter or have her later so she can examine it? I mean, nobody does that. Those are horrible pictures to be able to show, to come back. Look what your dad did.
Yeah.
Okay. That is just absolutely incredible. All right.
It was to show
they were praying for
Erica
her.
what
She
she
made
went
it,
through.
survived. But part of the Lord's prayer is, forgive me for my
And
sins,
absolutely is
and as I
evidence,
forgive
too.
those who trespass against me. Right?
I do
So
need
in
to
this case, that doesn't apply.
So
It's all vindictive. It's all funneled to try to get
be
him
right back
punished. Okay.
in just a few minutes.
Mr. Delgado's already been punished for a lot. All right. A lot of abuse, a lot of just torment that he's been through. And was his expression when he couldn't do anything to protect himself. He had to protect his daughter, and he acted. Okay? Make the state prove all the elements of the offense, which includes now the justification. Can they disprove it? Did they put up any evidence? They didn't put up any evidence. Okay? So be looking at that. They're going to put on some more stuff, say some other stuff, but remember what lawyers say is not evidence. It's not. So in your back of your mind, when he's talking about there's no justification, make him go back and say, that was my evidence. So you can analyze that. Check with your notes, okay? And as for the Delgado family sitting over here, and Mr. Delgado, we thank you for listening to our case, okay?
May I proceed, Your Honor? Yes, please. Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Defense just came up here and told you he's not going to show you any gross pictures. He's not going to do any of that stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, these pictures that we're looking at, that the defense calls gross, are the result of what his client did that day. These are the results of what Billy Delgado did to Erica Torres as she drove up innocently, unsuspecting of the assault that she was about to suffer. I'm sorry that he thinks this is gross, but this is Erica's life now because of what the defendant did. Now, he said his client's been through torment, that he's been through a lot. What has Erica been through? Billy Delgado's a healthy young man. He can walk, he can talk, he can jump, he can run. Erica fought for her life. She has bullet holes to remember every single shot she received from him. And then he told you they brought words. They didn't, that the state only brought words, that we didn't bring evidence. Ladies and gentlemen, we brought a mountain of evidence. We brought a confession. He even told you on the stand, I did it. He confessed to every single element of the offense. And I want to bring your attention, if you could all grab your jury charge, please, and let's turn to page 5. If you look at that top line, it says, under the justification, because this is what they're arguing. He's saying that they have a justification. If you look at that top line, under the circumstances, as the actor reasonably believes them to be, and pay attention to that word, reasonably believes. the actor would be justified in using force to protect himself against the unlawful force he reasonably believes to be threatening the third
Hey, I'm back,
person he
everybody,
seeks to
and I have my
protect.
kitty Willow on my lap here.
Now,
She is
reasonably
the one
believes.
that the
To
channel is
reasonably
named
believe,
after.
you must be able to
She
use
is
what?
a big girl. She's almost 6.
So this is tirzepatide, and it is the number
She
one weight loss medication.
is a mostly
Reason.
Norwegian
You
forest
must be
cat.
able to reason with what you're doing.
Um,
Yet, when he took the stand,
might be a
and
little.
I
I think
asked
there's a
him
little bit
about
of
shooting Erica,
something else
I
in
blacked
her,
out.
but clearly
When I asked him
the
about shooting her
majority
multiple
is
times, do you
Norwegian.
remember? I don't remember.
If you know
I can't
anything
remember.
about those,
He conveniently
they're a
blacked
lot like
out.
Maine
He
Coon,
conveniently doesn't remember.
very
He remembers
similar.
being in the
Whoop,
apartment, and
she
then he
getting
remembers the
friends.
cops
All
showing up.
right, look,
So
baby girl.
where was he able to formulate this supposed
Hi,
reasonably believe? Where was he
hi.
able to use his reason
Say hi
when
to
he's conveniently
everybody.
blacking out throughout this entire process that he can't
She's a little
recall?
fussy right now, so we're
Ladies
gonna
and
let her
gentlemen,
down.
it's an excuse. This is a lie, another lie by the defendant. Just another excuse to justify his actions of what he did to Erica that day. Just the same way he made up the lie about this supposed sexual assault against his daughter by Uncle Louis. The only person that's ever cried wolf about that is the defendant. He's the only person, because Emmy's never told anybody else. She's never told anybody else about it. And let's just say,
At the
for
time,
the sake
he
of argument,
suspected
that you see
that
reasonably
he
believes, you need to prove
the defendant
and,
Billy Delgado.
because that's the
I
next word.
believe his
Next word
daughter
means
was
that
about
reasonably believes to be threatening the third person he seeks to protect, and so you need to do both. You need both for the justification of defense of third person. So, and the actor reasonably believes, so again, he's got to use reason, but apparently he was blacked out through this entire process. Blacked out because he couldn't recall what he did. He couldn't remember thinking about what to do or how he did it because he was blacked out. The actor reasonably believes that his intervention is immediately, at that point in time, immediately necessary to protect the third person. The third person, Emmy, who's in the apartment upstairs, that he left Emmy with his roommate. You saw Estrada take the stand. She said Billy dropped off some toys and he told Emmy to play and for me to watch her, that he was going to go talk to Erica. There's no immediacy. Where's the immediate danger? There's no Uncle Louis, the supposed cry wolf that's outside waving, "I'm here, Billy, I'm here." He called Erica over to the house. He told her, "Get here now, come pick up Emmy. I can't do this no more." Why lure her there? If you're gonna do the right thing, call LPD. Do what a normal person would do. Call the police or say, "Hey, Erica, look, I'm not gonna give Emmy back. We need to figure out what to do about this. Okay? I'm gonna keep her. I'm gonna keep her with me. I'll give her back to you after we talk to the police." There was no immediacy, ladies and gentlemen. There was no immediacy. So this doesn't apply. And then even then, when the issue of the application, if you turn to page 6, please. When the issue of the application of defense of a third person is raised, the burden of persuasion is on the prosecution to disprove the justification beyond a reasonable doubt. And defense told you we can't disprove that we can't disprove that beyond a reasonable doubt. Ladies and gentlemen, it's like I told you in Fort Dyer. This is common sense. We use common sense every day. Every day. You heard the defendant. I blacked out. There's no evidence for his reasonableness. There's no immediacy. Again, just another excuse.
All right, maybe I'll go a little bit after.
So let's talk about what this case is really about.
I will go out.
Like I said, defense would have you believe that Billy did this because he was triggered by what happened to his daughter. Well, then why Erica? Why shoot Erica? She didn't do this. If you were triggered by this, she's not the one who abused Emmy. If this is supposed incident that happened pushed you over the limit, she's the wrong person. Why not take the proper measures like I just told you? Call the police. He bragged about his family being in law enforcement.
This company is going viral for its new process that gives you permanent teeth in just 24 hours. If you're missing 5 or more teeth, Nuvia.
How his grandmother was the captain of police.
My apologies,
If that's the case,
everybody.
then you know
I
police
have
will
to
do a good
frequently
job,
look at my
right?
text
You know they'll do their job
for
if
my
you just
phone.
call and take the proper measures like a normal person.
My fiance has
Two
family
wrongs
here,
don't
but
make a
my
right.
immediate family isn't.
Two
So,
wrongs don't make a right, ladies and gentlemen. He doesn't get to take
and I have a dad
justice
with
and
multiple
be the
health
judge in this
issues, along with
case.
a sister with multiple health issues.
What he did is
so
not justified
I
by
gotta keep
any circumstance.
checking things.
What he did to the mother of his child. And that case was closed. There was no evidence. There was no outcry. The child was interviewed by a trained professional in a controlled environment, in a comfortable situation where there was no time limit. And Investigator Vaquera told you the child never outcried to any abuse. They gave her a doll to even say, you know, where has anyone ever touched you in any of these places? She never outcried. They gave her an anatomical drawing where it shows the outline of the human body. And they asked,
CPS
do you know your private parts? You know,
dismissed.
are these areas that no one's supposed to touch you, right? And has anyone ever touched you here? She never outcried after all the opportunities that she had. So of course the case was closed because that was just an excuse, a lie that the defendant made up to shoot and to try to kill Erica Torres that day. Defense would have you believe that Billy is a victim of violence. He's a victim of violence based off a 2-minute and 30-second video, a self-serving video. I'll have you at that. Ladies and gentlemen, if I go home to my wife, I know all the buttons to press. I know what to do to upset her. And if at that point in time, after I've riled her up, and I say, oh, leave me alone. Hold on. Let me put in selfie mode real quick. Okay. Stop. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, come on. That was a self-serving video. We didn't see the circumstances leading up to that. Erica told you herself. She took ownership. She said, I needed to get to San Antonio. Well, why didn't you get off? He was driving on the highway. I couldn't get off. Well, why didn't you try exiting the vehicle? It was moving. My kids were in the back. And why were you so concerned? Because if I missed court, I would get arrested and I would stay in custody until I had court. And I didn't want a warrant out for my arrest. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, she was upset. She was upset because she was being held against her will when the defendant had told her that he would take her to court in San Antonio. But in the video, you hear him say, we were late. We weren't going to make it anyways. She still made it that day, even after getting dropped off, or she didn't get dropped off. She jumped out of the car while it was in between two trailers and walked to the truck stop, waiting for her mom to pick her up. And you saw in the video, the defense like, no, please. Yeah, I'm tired of this. And what does he do? He looks down to make sure that he's showing his face. Y'all saw him. He looked down. And then, we're going to crash. We're going to crash. What does he do? Afterwards, he pulls up the phone. He's like, all right, let me take it off selfie mode. Let me close it. Yes, he was very concerned about crashing while trying to record a video after he was starting a fight, after he was fighting with Ms. Torres, and she was upset because she didn't want to get arrested. I don't blame her. I don't blame her for not wanting to get arrested. Nobody wants to get arrested. And meanwhile, being held against her will, right? Because she couldn't get out of the moving vehicle. Defense would have you believe that Billy did this because he thought he needed to protect his daughter. Ladies and gentlemen, we already talked about this. There was no immediacy. There was no threat. Emmy was upstairs, locked, or not locked, but in a room with the door closed. I'll have you, because Erica Estrada texts, she said on the stand that the door was closed while she was in the room with Emmy. The front door to the apartment was closed, and Billy Delgado walked outside, apparently conveniently to his benefit. He was blacked out, but he told you, I always carry my gun. I
I'm gonna
always
be
have my gun.
checking
It's
to
small enough for
see
me to carry it.
what
I'm not a
court
convicted felon. I can carry a gun.
feed is next on the
Ladies and gentlemen,
docket here.
where's the immediacy? Erica didn't rev her engine and pull up. No, she's just pulling up nice and slow, ready to pick up Emmy. And what does she hear? Bang, 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 bang. Yes, Mr. Delgado felt threatened. Ladies and gentlemen, common sense.
Get paid to be real. Apply for InFocus.
I didn't know what to expect going in.
And my apologies for the
And most
commercials.
importantly, he called Erica to come over. That's what you need to go back to every single time. He called her there. It wasn't her day. It wasn't her time to pick up Emmy. Emmy was supposed to get picked up on Sunday. It was his visitation. But the defendant lured her there. Why? Because he wanted to ambush her. He wanted to attack her and knew that she wouldn't stand a chance, that she wouldn't suspect it. He wanted to kill her. Like I told you, this case is about choices and consequences. We all have free will to make choices. You heard Sharon Estrada. Billy was making pancakes that morning. He looked at peace. He looked at peace. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're upset and if Emmy told him this the night before, why not call PD that night? Why not call Erica that night? The moment you just got told that when he claims that his daughter, she jumped in my arms and she was crying. Get the phone. It's not like LPD only works 8 to 5. Call her mother. Let her know. I called the police. I just got told this. No, ladies and gentlemen, because that didn't happen. Erica testified. Billy called her to come over to his apartment to immediately pick up their daughter. He told her, get here now. She told you she was at a friend's house. She dropped what she was doing because she said, Billy told her, get here now. Come pick up Emmy. There was no immediacy. Billy created this situation. He created the situation he wanted. He made a plan to execute Erica Torres. What did Dr. Medeiros tell you? When we asked him about serious bodily injury, all the different definitions, he said, she did everything but die. So we met serious bodily injury. She lost her blood volume. She will have difficulties for the rest of her life. And she will need to be monitored because she will never have a normal life ever again. But at least she can walk normally or look like she walks normally. Use your common sense, ladies and gentlemen. We brought you the pieces of the puzzle. Remember, I said we were going to bring you the pieces of the puzzle, and it may not be a complete puzzle, but you'll be able to make it out. We brought you the videos, the shooting. We brought you the interview. Look at that video. There's no remorse. He looked like nothing. You know, instead of saying, how's Erica? Is Erica okay? Is Erica okay? Instead, he's like, look at my rap sheet. Look at her rap sheet. I don't got nothing. She's been arrested. In his eyes, he thinks of her as less than dirt. Look at the way he treated her that day, the mother of his child. He had the opportunity. Billy Delgado called Erica and ambushed her that day. So we've brought you the videos. We've brought you the opportunity that he had. We've shown it to you. The weapon and the casings, all 10 casings. We didn't just bring you the casings. We brought you all of them. All 10 opportunities he had
I'm
to kill her.
thinking
The
tonight.
confession. He told you he
I'll
did
come
it.
back
He told
in
you here to
after
your
this
face
for a
that he
little
did it.
bit.
Not only did he see that, he said, I did it. I shot the mother of my
And
child.
we'll
I'll deal with the consequences.
start streaming the
He told you on the video
Shelby
when he was arrested, and he
Neely
told you here in
sentencing
court on the stand.
phase. He pleaded guilty
You saw her serious bodily injury with Dr.
after
Medeiros.
brutally murdering his
And they were still
21-year-old
married
wife,
the date of the
Jamie
assault
Evancic,
and share a child.
and burying her in their backyard.
So we've proven our case.
Less
We've
than a
proven
year
that on
later,
or
in
about June 1st,
2018,
2024, in
he
Webb County,
murdered her
Texas,
family,
the defendant,
including
Billy
her
Delgado,
parents, brother, and the
intentionally,
family's
knowingly, or
3
recklessly
dogs.
caused serious bodily injury. Remember, I told you in voir dire, intentionally, go up to show someone directly, point a gun at them, right in front of them, boom. That's intentionally. Knowingly, you see a group of people together, you shoot, you know you're gonna hit them if you're aiming at the crowd and they're all jam-packed together. And I said recklessly. When I explained recklessly was that you can appreciate the standard, but you do a gross deviation from it, regardless of the outcome.
And we can
of your
go over
actions,
that
right? So even if you think that
tonight
Billy Delgado says,
and this weekend.
well, I was just shooting at the car, I wasn't shooting at her. You shoot at a car with somebody in it, you're disregarding the fact that they could get hit. You're disregarding the fact that they could die. You're disregarding the fact that they could get seriously injured. And he did all of those. He intentionally shot at the car. He knew she was going to get shot. And he disregarded that fact when he recklessly shot at her in the car. So all of those 3 intentional elements are met. And used or exhibited a deadly weapon. A firearm, automatically a deadly weapon. And he also admitted to you, yes, I used a deadly weapon on the stand. During the commission of the assault, namely a firearm and or a G3C 9mm Taurus. This is what he used that day, ladies and gentlemen. Not only what he used in the firearm that he was carrying, this is the one that he likes to carry, right? Has he told you that he always carries a gun? But he was also accompanied by its 2 buddies, 2 loaded magazines. Ladies and gentlemen, he had one intent that day. It wasn't to talk to Erica. He wanted to kill her. He wanted to hurt her. He wanted to remove Erica from Emmy's life for his own personal, selfish motives. And like I said, we've satisfied the family dating relationship. You've heard about their entire relationship, right? You know the truth. Remember in voir dire, I told you, can we know exactly 100% exactly what happened that day? No, right? I told you, because the only way you know is if you were there, if you saw it. Ladies and gentlemen, not only did we show you the acts of Billy Delgado that day, we brought the crime to you. You saw it with your own eyes. You all saw the actions, the lack of remorse. At no point was there any hesitation. And you'll see the video, play it as many times as you want. She pulls up, and without hesitation, he points his firearm and just starts unloading one
for that,
after the other.
the Shelby
He's not
Neely.
moving. And I know that there was some
sentencing.
argument by defense. Well, if he wanted to kill her, he could have killed her. Ladies and gentlemen, if this is the car, he was right there in front of it. He was trying his best to aim. He had a mission that day. But what do we have? We have Billy Delgado still hiding behind his excuses. I blacked out, or I did it for my daughter. Which one is it? You can't have both. You can't have both, ladies and gentlemen. I did it for my daughter to protect her. Okay, well, then you did it? Well, no, I blacked out. Those are completely contradicting statements.
Yeah, he's pretty
That doesn't
drunk.
make sense at all. You did it because you wanted to protect your daughter, but you don't remember doing it because you blacked out?
Mm-hmm.
You know why that doesn't make sense? Because it's a lie. It's an excuse for his actions. His own mom told LPD. She testified. She didn't believe Billy. She doubted him. She told LPD, there's no way. She told you on the stand. Yes, I said, there's no way this could have happened to Emmy. She would have told me. Emmy's a talkative child. Well, if she's a talkative child, of course she would have told her. She would have picked up on it. She even told you, yes, I check her underwear when she comes from her mother's. Ladies and gentlemen, she said that on the stand.
Well, that's kind of
Your
creepy.
own mom doesn't even believe you. And she tried to stop him. You heard her. that she was talking to him right before he did it. Was he blacked out? Or was he using reason when he talked to his mom? Because he told her, watch this, and then he put his phone in his pocket and boom, 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 boom. But he was blacked out, like he told me, right? He was blacked out. No, ladies and gentlemen. He was trying to execute his own motives. He had an agenda. He had a plan to lure Erica there and execute her. Sharon Estrada, she talked about the box of toys. But I want to talk to you about how, did you hear how she said it? She said it on her own. He looked calm. He looked at peace that morning. If he was so triggered, if he was so bothered by what he heard the night before, how are you going to be in the morning looking calm and at peace? I would be ringing the phones. I'd be ringing the bell. I'd be at LPD banging on the door saying, open up, we're going to talk about this. And I'd be there with my daughter saying, something happened. Remember in Fort Dyer, when we discussed unhealthy relationships? I asked you, I talked to you all about unhealthy relationships, and we discussed how, yes, maybe we or people we know are involved in unhealthy or toxic relationships. And I asked you all, I said, if someone chose to stay or if they were part of an unhealthy relationship and they suffered abuse, is that abuse justified? And you all took an oath and you all said, no, just because somebody is part
Absolutely
of an
not. It
abusive
is
relationship or they were part
no
of an
excuse
abusive
for what he
relationship,
did.
that doesn't mean that their abuse should go unpunished, that it should be allowed. You all said that and you all agreed. And that's why we're here to hold Billy Delgado to his actions. It is time for him to face his consequences. Ladies and gentlemen, Erica Torres, she fought for her life.
She fought
for her
hard,
life.
hard.
To tell you her
That
story.
is a strong, strong woman, I'm telling
All
you.
363 days, she fought for her life so that she could have her day in court.
He unloaded
And she could take this
on
stand
her
and tell you about the
while she was
pain,
driving.
the suffering, and the
She was shot
actions that
5
Mr. Delgado
times
caused her.
in the abdomen.
Multiple individuals
Spent
testified. They said that they believed
363
she was going to
days
die.
in the
Officer Luis
hospital.
Castillo, off duty, told you,
After
I was pretty sure she was going to die in front of me. Dr.
he did
Madero
what he
said,
did, she was still able
if
to
she did not receive
drive.
medical help, she was going to
She
die.
drove for a little bit
Erica told you,
to get away, to get
I was
help.
trying to get to the hospital.
Ended up causing
I didn't
a
want to die.
3-car wreck.
Kayla
She
told
survived
you.
that
Kayla
as
de la
well.
Cruz, she told you she needed to get to the hospital. She was going to die. And let me remind you about something. Erica Torres is not on trial. This is called the state of Texas versus Billy Delgado. That's what this case is called. The victim is not on trial here. She is not on trial. Why? Because she is the victim in
Boy,
this
did
case.
that defense do a
And we are
lot
here
of victim bashing.
For the actions of Billy Delgado, for what he did, for what the defendant did, for what that
And
man
so did
sitting over there
Billy.
did to her. That is why we're here. We're not here for the state of Texas against Erica. And she took the stand. And yes, like my co-counsel told you, we heard their dirty laundry. But you know what? I'll tell you something that she did. She owns it. She takes it. She takes accountability for what she did. She was on probation for what she did. She takes accountability for her actions. But you know who doesn't? The defendant. Because lie after excuse after excuse, his actions he still believes were justified. No, ladies and gentlemen. You heard when I asked
FYI,
his
I
aunt,
also cover
I said,
true crime. I
nobody
haven't
deserves to
started
get
to
shot
do that
right 10
yet.
times. Yes, I asked her, no
But you
woman
may
deserves to be
see
shot
me,
10 times. And she agreed.
you know, something
Nobody
breaking
deserves that.
happens. I
Nobody.
might interrupt the stream and check it out
Billy Delgado made his choice.
if it's a verifiable
Now
source.
it's time for him to face the consequences. So, when I'm done here, You'll go to the back. You're going to turn to the verdict form, and it says, "We, the jury, find the defendant, Billy Delgado, guilty of aggravated assault, causes serious bodily injury with a deadly weapon to a family member, felony of the first degree." And you will sign right there under guilty. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, members of the jury, I'm going to excuse you with the exception of Mr. Pedroza and Mr. Nunez. If you would stay with us momentarily. I need to talk to you all outside the presence of the other folks. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, don't begin your deliberations because they may have some stuff in the jury room. I'm going to let them come in there and get whatever they left. And then as alternates, they're going to be excused. So once they leave, you begin your deliberations and only discuss the case when all 12 of you are in the room. If somebody goes to the restroom, stop the deliberations and wait till they return. So we will await your unanimous verdict. If those two jurors would stay with us momentarily, would everyone rise as the jury goes to the jury room? All right, the jury.
And they actually came back pretty quick. But I am going to take this as a moment to get up, move around, and I'll be right back. And then we'll zoom to the verdict.
You were the alternates on the case. I appreciate your service. Do you have anything in the jury room? Okay. Go ahead and get that, and then you're free to go with our things. There's a new law that says what I'm supposed to do is put you in a closet and keep you in the closet until the jury reaches a verdict. But I don't want to do that. It was a short enough case. I don't think we'll need you. So thank you for being here. We appreciate it. Your time was not wasted. Everything I told you earlier about discussing the case is now lifted. Sometimes the lawyers like to talk to you. You're welcome to talk to them, or you're free to go. Thank you very much, and go get your stuff. All right, we're in recess. You can see you in the courtroom.
Customize and save with Liberty Mutual, so you only pay for what you need.
Wix. One platform, any website. Unlimited creation. Describe your needs and goals, and AI will transform your tailored brief into a unique website that's ready to perform in minutes. Customize it. Shape your visitor's experience down to the finest detail. Monitor, measure, and manage all your website's activity from one place. Personalized, customized, Wix.
Notice the jury has a verdict, so we're going to bring them in.
Yeah, and like I said, they reached a verdict pretty quickly. I'm hoping they'll show the defendant's reaction, but I doubt it. Maybe they'll show his reaction when he actually hears the sentence that he ends up getting, which is rightly justified.
All right, for the jury. All right. Please be seated in the courtroom. Okay, members of the jury, we received notice you have a verdict. Is that correct? Could I have the presiding juror stand momentarily? Is that verdict unanimous, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, could you hand it to the bailiff for me and you can be seated? Could I have defendant and counsel rise? The state of Texas versus Billy Delgado. We, the jury, find the defendant, Billy Delgado, guilty of aggravated assault causing serious bodily injury with a deadly weapon to a family member, felony of the first degree, signed by the presiding juror.
Yep.
Do you wish to have a poll?
Yes, sure.
Do they know their numbers or not? Do they know their numbers? Okay, could I have the list, jury list?
I don't even know why the dude went to trial. Like, it's on
When I
camera.
call your last name, ladies and gentlemen, the question is whether
And
that
phone
is your
calls.
verdict and you join in that verdict. If you do, say yes. If you don't for any reason, please say no. Nieta?
Just shows his ego. In my opinion. Yeah, they're just doing
Seeing
a
your
poll.
verdict. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. At this time, as we discussed in voir dire, it is a two-phase process. The defendant, having been found guilty, it is the jury's responsibility to assess the appropriate punishment. Both sides have an opportunity to produce further evidence if they wish to do so. So I'll ask the state to proceed at this time.
Thank you, Your Honor.
May I please report? Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, first I want to thank you. Thank you for executing your civic duty, and thank you on behalf of the District Attorney's Office and on behalf of Mr. Evans.
Oh, I believe
Now,
the jury is also going to
so I
hear
was going to ask you to take
the arguments for sentencing.
the next step is to determine what the punishment should be.
Some states have a
This crime was not a crime of carelessness.
guilty
It
phase
was a choice.
and a sentencing phase.
You're going to hear evidence.
Some states will do one trial altogether, like Texas.
A nurse practitioner.
In other states, they'll
that
do
spent days with Erica.
one trial
He was there trying to help her to
for
recover.
innocence or guilty,
He was there when she
and
was
then
trying to
they'll
get back
set
in.
a date for
He's going to
sentencing.
explain to you the pain and all the suffering you went through. You're also going to hear from a crash victim.
The next case I'm going to do is Shelby, Florida versus Shelby Neely. He pleaded guilty in Florida. You can do that. But typically they will do a jury trial for sentencing.
She's going to tell you
And so this one is going to
all the
be
suffering and pain she went through
a
because of
sentencing
what the
phase.
defendant, Mr. Billy Delgado. And remember,
And I'll come back on a little
you can
later,
consider
probably
all of the evidence,
around
all of the
6
aggravating evidence
p.m.
also
Pacific
from the
Standard
guilty and
Time
innocent part of the
to
trial.
start that one.
So
And
all
we'll
of
go
this
through the
evidence
weekend with that.
and the aggravating evidence from the guilty and innocence phase of the trial, you can consider it. So make sure you consider everything and determine a fair and firm punishment that Mr. Delgado deserves. All of that evidence is going to help you answer a critical question. It's going to help you answer what sentence will protect the victim, will protect the community, and will reflect the seriousness of this crime. When we conclude, the state is going to ask you to hold the defendant accountable, to impose a sentence
Dude was quite literally a
that will
breath
show the
away.
gravity of the harm, the lasting
An
trauma,
ounce of
and the danger
blood
posed if this violence caused by the defendant is not met
from
with a
this
firm
actually being
and
a
just
murder trial
punishment.
instead of an attempted murder trial, which would have been entirely different.
Yes, Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be able to talk to you one more time. Let me say what we are attempting to do. You didn't see the way you saw the case, but to present some witnesses, some characteristics, Billy. We'll be able to talk a little bit more freely now. We're not restrained by some of the rules, so we'll know all the truth about Erica and her family. And Mr. Delgado will also be able to testify if he wishes. But the family's gonna come up and tell you all these situations that they had with Erica and all the problems they had with her. They'll tell you all about the good times that they had with Billy, what type of person Billy is. So you can use all that information you received in the trial and this new information to try to determine the proper sentence. Okay, remember, he qualifies for probation and it's all related to the maximum amount of punishment. So the folks have a wide range to deal with. All right, thank you.
Let's say you call first witness. Yeah, maybe. Okay.
The witness is on the way, Your Honor.
Thank you.
And we're just waiting for the
The state
witness to
calls
take a
Silvia Navarro to the
stand.
stand. She needs to be sworn in. Yes. Will. Yeah. Let the court hear that. We're gonna need an interpreter.
And Your Honor, at this time, we'll be requesting that the exhibits from the guilt and innocence be moved to the punishment phase, and if we could have those exhibits, I don't think they're out here with the court.
Okay, they'll be reoffered along with all of the evidence that was admitted at the first phase of the trial and admitted for purposes of punishment. Could you raise your right hand, please? Do solemnly swear the evidence and testimony are given this cause will be the truth, so help you God.
The whole truth.
Thank you. Have a seat over.
Not sure who this is. I guess we'll find out.
Your Honor, these are not the complete list of.
Can you see if there's anything else in the jury room as far as exhibits?
Just the photos.
Is there a particular one that you're looking for?
Yes, Your Honor. I was looking for the photos of the crash, but these are injuries and of the scene of the crime. Permission to go off record, Your Honor?
Yes.
We don't have the full list of exhibits here.
Ladies and gentlemen, the jury, anybody got carrying any exhibits on them that are back in the jury room? One more look in the jury room for us.
There's a lot of photos. Yeah, we don't have any photos. There's pictures here.
Do you have copies?
All right, perfect. We got them.
Please state your name for the record.
Por favor, diga su nombre para que quede constado en actas.
Ok. Mi nombre es Silvia Navarro. Me dedico a trabajar y al hogar. Soy madre de un niño.
My name is Silvia Navarro, and I work at home, and I have one child.
And where do you reside?
¿Dónde está usted viviendo?
Vivo en Zapata.
I live in
Texas.
Zapata, Texas.
Thank you for coming down.
Gracias por venir.
Do you recall the date of June 1st, 2024?
¿Usted recuerda la fecha del día 1 de junio de 2024?
Claro que sí. ¿Cómo olvidar ese día tan triste?
Of course. How could I forget that day that was so sad?
What happened that day?
¿Qué sucedió ese día?
Ese día estábamos en la línea para dar vuelta para agarrar otra calle
That day we were on the road to turn to another street.
Y de repente, pues se vino un carro encima del carro de nosotros, ¿verdad? O sea, de una troca mía.
Then all of a sudden there was a car that came on top of us, one of our cars, our truck.
How did you feel at that moment?
¿Cómo se sintió usted en ese momento?
Pues desesperada, no sabía qué estaba pasando, fue algo muy rápido o algo que no me esperaba.
I felt desperate. I did not know what was happening. It all happened very soon. I was not expecting it.
And what did you do after you were struck by the vehicle?
¿Qué fue lo que usted hizo después de que el vehículo le golpeó?
Pues yo reboté en el vidrio de enfrente y me dolía toda la cabeza, todo el cuerpo.
I bounced off the windshield. I had body aches. My head hurt.
Did you have to go to the hospital?
¿Usted tuvo que irse al hospital?
Sí, me desmayé después.
Yes, I fainted later on.
Me llevó la ambulancia.
And I was taking my ambulance.
And how long were you in the hospital?
¿Cuánto tiempo estuvo usted en el hospital?
Pues estuve como medio día.
I was like half a day.
And did you have to go back? Did you have to do any therapy?
¿Usted tuvo que regresar? ¿Tuvo usted que tener alguna terapia?
Tuve que regresar como al tercer día porque el dolor era muy fuerte.
I did have to go back about the third day because the pain was very strong.
And today, do you still have pain?
¿Hoy todavía sufre de dolor?
Sí.
Yes.
And do you have the means to take care of that pain?
¿Usted tiene con qué cuidarse de ese dolor?
Pues hace una semana tuve que buscar un doctor para que me diera algo para el dolor.
A week ago, I had to look for a doctor so that I could get something for the pain.
Okay, let's go back. What happened to your car?
Vamos a regresarnos. ¿Qué sucedió con su automóvil?
Pues mi carro quedó completamente destrozado, pérdida total. Sí, la aseguranza me pagó $2,000, $2,200.
My car was a total loss. It was completely destroyed. Yes, the insurance did pay $2,200.
And were you able to get a new one?
¿Usted pudo obtener uno nuevo?
No.
No.
So after that, how did you manage to get around?
Después de eso, ¿cómo usted deambulaba?
Pues pedía RAI para mi trabajo. Ese automóvil lo usaba para llevar a mi hijo a su doctor porque tengo un niño con problemas, autismo, asma, problemas de salud.
I would ask for a ride. That car I used to use it to go to work. That car I used it to take my son to the doctor. My kid has problems with his health. He has autism. He has asthma.
And how have you managed to pay for all the car expenses, and the medical expenses?
¿Cómo le ha hecho usted para pagar todos sus costos de su automóvil y sus costos médicos?
Pues con mi trabajo ahorita estoy yendo yo al doctor. Aún se deben los biles del hospital.
With my work, now I'm paying my doctor. I'm still owing the hospital bills.
Has your life changed because of this accident?
¿Ha cambiado su vida debido a este accidente?
Claro que sí.
Of course.
How so?
¿Cómo?
Pues me da miedo manejar. Siento, si un carro está muy cerca, me viene el recuerdo que me van a volver a chocar. Algunas veces busco quien maneje.
Well, I am afraid to drive. I feel if a car is very close to me, it reminds me. And I am afraid and I look for someone to give me a ride.
Your Honor, permission to publish a State Exhibit 28 and 30?
Yes.
How awful just to be, just to think, just driving around doing your own thing, minding your own business, and somebody crashes into you. It turns out that that is also the driver of that car that crashed into you had just been shot 5 times in the abdomen and fleeing for her life. You can't even imagine, and now you have to go to court as a witness. Talk about life altering.
What's marked as Exhibit 28?
Le voy a mostrar lo que tenemos como documento de prueba número 28.
Can you tell us in what car you were driving or you were a passenger of?
¿Me puede decir usted a qué vehículo estaba usted conduciendo o en qué vehículo era usted la pasajera?
Era la Escape gris.
It's the gray Escape.
So this one.
Esta.
And where were you riding?
¿Y dónde venía usted?
Del lado del pasajero.
On the passenger side.
So right here.
Aquí? Yes.
And it would be right here, correct?
¿Sería aquí mismo?
And that morning, did you foresee what was going to happen to you?
¿Y esa mañana sabía usted lo que iba a suceder ahí?
No, yo esa mañana venía con la intención de venir
And
a
how
comprar
could you?
un piso para renovar mi trailer. Traía $500, que fue lo que usé para la reca, para mover el mueble de ahí para la salida de Zapata, que vive una hermana ahí.
No, that morning I had the intentions to go buy some flooring because I was going to renew the floor from my mobile home. I had $500 that later on I had to use for the car to be towed to the outside of Zapata. A sister lives there.
And nowadays, are you getting any medical treatment? And if so, how are you paying for it?
Ahora que está recibiendo usted tratamiento médico, ¿cómo lo está pagando?
Pues con mi dinero, con lo de mi trabajo.
With my own money from work.
And is that enough?
¿Y eso es suficiente?
¿Cómo suficiente?
What do you mean by enough?
Is that enough money to cover all the expenses?
¿Es suficiente dinero para cubrir todos sus gastos?
No.
No.
We pass the witness.
Ma'am, can you please give me your name again?
Señora, ¿me puede dar su nombre nuevamente?
Silvia Navarro Naranjo.
Silvia Navarro Naranjo.
Silvia Guerrero
Navarro.
Navarro. Navarro being your dad's last name?
Navarro es el apellido de su papá?
Sí.
Yes.
Ma'am, did you hire a lawyer for the accident?
¿Usted ocupó un abogado para el accidente?
Is he helping you get money?
¿Él le está ayudando a que usted obtenga dinero?
Nos dio, nomás dijo que la bolsa de la persona que nos había pegado eran $10,000. O él cobró no sé qué tanto, nos tocaron 6,000, como 6,200 para nosotros, para mí.
He he told us that the insurance was only up to $10,000 and he billed us. We only got around 6,000, 6,200.
Algo así.
Something like that.
Okay, so you received money for some compensation for your injuries, right?
Entonces usted recibió compensación por sus lesiones.
Fue, pues no sé si
day
fue
in
por
the
las
hospital
lesiones o por
would have taken
el
probably
golpe
all
de la
that
troca.
$6,200.
No lo supe. Él nomás nos dio ese dinero.
I don't know if it was for the injuries or if it was because of the damage to the car. He just gave us that money.
Okay, but you didn't elect to go to a jury and try to collect more damages. You chose to settle, and you settled for that amount, for $10,000, right?
Pero usted no ocupó a nadie para poder obtener más dinero. Usted estuvo de acuerdo en aceptar esos $10,000.
Sí, fue lo que nos dijo el abogado que tocaba del aseguro de la persona que nos había chocado, o sea, del accidente,
Yes.
y que no había otra manera que es la bolsa que ella tenía.
Yes, that's what the attorney said. That was our share from the person that hit us, that there was no other way. That was our portion.
Okay. Would you like for Mr. Delgado to reimburse you for your expenses?
¿Usted quiere que el señor Delgado le reembolse sus
That ain't
gastos?
gonna happen.
¿Cómo?
What do you mean?
Well, you're here to testify because you're telling us of all the expenses you have. I'm asking, would it make you whole if we could repay you for those expenses that occurred because of the accident?
Usted está aquí para dar su declaración y está diciendo de todos sus gastos y estamos preguntando si usted quiere ser reembolsada por esos gastos.
Claro que sí.
Of course.
I have no further questions, Judge.
Redirect.
In this entire year, has the defendant or his family reached out to try to pay you?
En todo este año, el acusado o los familiares del acusado han tratado de comunicarse con usted para tratar de pagarle.
No.
No.
You had to pay for that lawyer, correct?
Usted tuvo que pagar a ese abogado, ¿correcto?
Sí.
Yes.
How much?
¿Cuánto?
Can they ask
Es
that?
que el abogado ese se cobró de lo que tocaba de la bolsa de la persona del automóvil.
The thing is that he
Serían 3,800, algo así.
the thing is that he took his share, I think maybe about 3,800.
So you had to pay money to get money.
Entonces tuvo que pagar dinero para tener dinero.
Yeah, there are lawyers that will say,
For something that wasn't your fault,
Por
correct?
algo que no fue su culpa, ¿correcto?
No.
you don't have to pay them until
It wasn't.
there's a settlement.
And did you ever reach out to the Delgado family and ask them for money?
En algún momento usted contactó a la familia Delgado
That would be
para
the
obtener dinero.
job, so
Claro
I
que
would
no sé ni quiénes
doubt they,
son. No soy
I
de
mean, I
Tierra
doubt
Guerrero.
the victims
Vivo en
would do
Zapata,
that.
no conozco a nadie ni a la persona que provocó el accidente, no sé las razones.
Of course, I do not know the family. I'm not from Laredo. I am from Zapata. I don't know the person or the reasons.
Okay, just to clarify, you hired an attorney to see if you could get more funds for the accident. And if you obtain funds, you're going to pay him a percentage of the funds you received. Is that right?
Solamente para aclarar, usted contrató un abogado para ver si podía tener usted algunos fondos y cuando recibiera el dinero, él iba a recibir un porcentaje. ¿Correcto?
Es correcto.
That is correct.
That's all I have, Judge.
And on the day of the accident, who were you with?
El día del accidente, ¿con quién estaba usted?
Estaba con un acompañante, Guadalupe García, era el que iba manejando.
I was with a partner, Guadalupe García.
So there was two people in the car.
Entonces, ¿había dos personas en el automóvil?
Sí.
Yes.
Who passed the witness?
No further questions, Judge.
Okay, is she excused on subject to recall?
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, ma'am, for being here. You're excused. You don't have to come back. Thank you very much.
Ok, gracias.
Your next witness, please.
It's going to be Joel Martinez, Judge. I don't know if it's been sworn in, Judge.
Would you raise your right hand for me, please? You do solemnly swear the evidence and the testimony given in the cause with the truth, so help you God. Have a seat over here.
Have a seat, Judge.
Please.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Can you please state your name for the record?
Joe Martinez?
Mr. Martinez, how are you employed?
I'm a nurse practitioner in the trauma department in San Antonio, Texas.
Okay. And how long have you been a nurse practitioner?
I've been a nurse practitioner for 7 years, and I've been a nurse since 2012, also in the trauma unit.
And what do you mean by nurse? Is that your title? It used to be your title, nurse, or it was...
Yes, I graduated in 2012 and started practicing as a registered nurse in the trauma ICU of that same hospital.
Okay.
Then I went and obtained my master's in nurse practitioner studies, and I've been practicing as a nurse practitioner since.
And you said about 6 years ago, so it was more or less about 2018?
I started in January of 2019.
Okay, 2019. And are you licensed here in
Texas? Yes, sir.
Okay. What does your practice consist of?
So I take care of perioperative patients, mainly trauma patients. So anyone that's in the acute phase in the hospital that is not an ICU patient and part of the trauma team, I take care of them, as well as outpatient care. So after they get discharged and they do their follow-up appointments, they come and they see me.
Okay, and right now you testify acute patients. Can you tell the jury what that means?
Acute patients are any patients that are ill enough to still be admitted into the hospital, but they are not in an intensive care unit. So they're not ill enough to where they have to be in the ICU, but they are ill enough to where they have to stay in the hospital.
Okay, and you also testified about trauma. You've been dealing with trauma patients since, I believe, 2012. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Can you tell the jury what that means? Trauma?
So any trauma patients are patients that come in due to a traumatic injury. So majority of patients are usually car crashes, falls from certain heights, gunshot wounds, stab victims. Those are probably the majority of the patients that I see.
Okay, and before we continue, let me ask about your educational background.
Hello.
What is it?
I got a borrow this.
So I obtained my bachelor's in nursing from Incarnate Word in San Antonio. I graduated in 2012. Same year I became a registered nurse. While I was a trauma intensive care unit nurse, I also went to school to obtain my master's at UT Health San Antonio. And after graduating, took my boards and started practicing as a nurse practitioner in 2019.
Okay, and during the course of your duties as a nurse practitioner, have you examined and treated individuals with injuries? Is that correct?
I'm sorry?
With injuries? You've treated patients with injuries?
Yes.
And those injuries mainly consist of what kind of injuries?
Mainly consists of traumatic injuries, usually gunshot wounds, stab wounds, car crashes, orthopedic injuries that they sustain from what we call polytrauma, meaning that you have multiple injuries from one traumatic episode.
Okay, so since you've been dealing with trauma victims and injuries, what are the injuries that you most typically see?
I would say gunshot wounds, stab wounds, and rib fractures.
Okay.
And orthopedic injuries from car crashes.
Okay. Do you know the victim in this case, Ms. Erica Edith Torres?
I do. I took care of her for all 3 of the hospitalizations that she had in the last year.
Okay, so when was the first time you actually met with the victim, Erica Torres?
I met Erica, I believe it was in the first or second week of July of 2024, after she had been in the intensive care unit for over a month. And my
That would
colleagues
have
from
been at the
intensive care
university
unit
hospital.
transferred her to me
Her
and
second
gave me a
hospital.
report on what happened during her hospitalization in the ICU. And I took care of her from then moving forward.
And you testified that you work for University Hospital in San Antonio. Is that
Correct.
Okay. So once you met Erica for the first time in early July 2024, what was your opinion, your medical opinion?
That she was extremely sick.
And what do you mean by extremely sick?
She had a lot of different injuries for different systems. So for her lungs, mainly in her abdomen, but she also had ongoing infections that required antibiotics. At that point, she wasn't moving or getting out of bed yet.
Okay.
She still had a breathing tube in her trachea, and she was still pending further surgical interventions.
What is the trachea?
So the tracheostomy tube is a tube that we put in someone's trachea when they've been on the breathing machine or the ventilator for prolonged periods of time, where it's not safe enough to just take the tube out. So we make a breathing tube for them that goes into their trachea.
Okay, so when you started treating Ms. Torres in July 2024, how many times a week would you visit with her?
I saw her on rounds every day that I was at work, so at least 5 days a week.
5 days a week, and that continued for how long?
Every day that I was at work, and that she was still in the hospital. So through her discharge, May 30th, aside from the 2 times that she was discharged from the hospital, then I would see her in clinic.
Yeah, Ms. Torres testified that she was released from the hospital May 30th of 2025. So about, if you can tell the jury, you dealt with Erica, you visited with her, you treated her, you even prescribed medicine for how long in those until May 30th of 2025?
Every day.
Every day?
Every day that I was there, I would see her.
Okay, and so you know her progression pretty much from June or July 2024 all the way to May 30th, 2025.
I know it very well, yes.
And have you met with her after she was released on May 30th, 2025?
Yes, I've met with her at the hospital once or twice, I believe.
Okay, are you still gonna be treating her?
Yes, so she's supposed to follow up with us still to continue her care.
Okay, so
Which her care is going to
the jury
be
already found the defendant
lifelong.
guilty of ag assault. They already established that it was serious bodily injury. What can you tell the jury about any long-term effects that Ms. Erica Torres might have from this point on to the future?
So since discharge from hospital, she's been referred to a gastroenterologist. Ms. Torres has about less than 150 centimeters of her small intestine. The average for an adult person is anywhere from 300 to 800. So she has a very limited amount of small bowel.
Okay, and how can that affect her? Only having 105 centimeters of her small intestine.
So your small intestine is where the majority of your nutrients and certain medications work on the small intestine. So she's at high risk for malnutrition, and certain medications that she takes will not be working for her the way that they would for a normal person.
Okay, you testify malnutrition. What does that mean?
That means that she's not getting the vitamins or minerals or calories from food that we eat in the same manner that people that have a full small bowel do.
Okay, and how can that affect her in the future?
She may have a hard time maintaining her weight, diet tolerance. She may not eat certain foods the way that we do. And she can also not be able to get the same medications that we get and get the same effect from them.
What exhibit is the picture we took on Sunday? You remember? Judge, my approach?
Yes.
I'm going to show you state exhibit 49 through 51. And you testified earlier that you've seen her since July 2024, so you're familiar with her injuries.
Correct.
When she was in the hospital. Okay. I'm going to show you state exhibit 51, 50, and 49. These pictures were taken on Sunday, July 27th. Have you seen Erica like this?
Yes, I saw when that wound was actually completely open.
Are you talking about this one?
No, the one on her flank. Yes. So that was actually an open wound. That's a split thickness skin graft. That's a wound that we made by taking skin from her thigh and transplanting it to her flank so that it can actually cover. And that's what it looks like healed.
Healed.
Yes, that's a healed skin graft, correct.
Can this ever look better?
There's certain surgical procedures that patients may have after getting a skin graft to help it not look as scarred down, but these are not an option for her.
Why not?
Because she's too high risk of a patient because she's had multiple abdominal surgeries.
Mr. Martinez, I'm going to show you state exhibit number 50. Do you recognize this injury from Ms. Torres?
Yes. So that is her, I believe, right side. So she had wounds on both of her flanks, the right and the left. She had developed a flesh-eating bacteria when she was initially in the intensive care unit that required her to go to the operating room multiple times to help cut away all of that muscle that was necrotic.
Do you remember the timeline of that?
That was when she first came in. I believe that was in early June. She was still in the ICU, but when she was down in the acute care unit with me, we were still sending her back to the operating room for washouts of that.
Can Ms. Torres ever fix this?
No, it's not recommended that she have any other surgeries to her abdomen.
And for the same reason, because of her skin.
Correct,
Yeah,
because she could
'cause
get really
she-
sick. She's at high risk
She has,
for
like,
any surgeon that goes in there can nick her bowel
no
and cause
skin
the same
on her
injuries that she
abdomen
had
right
before.
now.
I didn't show you state exhibit number 51. Again, this picture was taken on July 27th, Sunday before trial. We also recognize this.
Correct. That's her midline of her abdomen. She had, I believe, at least 3 exploratory laparotomies. And then her most recent time that we opened that wound was on April 15th for her takedown of her fistula that she developed.
And what is that? Fistula?
So Ms. Torres developed what's called an enterocutaneous fistula, meaning that there was a portion of her bowel that was communicating to the outside of her skin. So anytime that she would eat or drink anything, her gastric contents would actually come out. So it wouldn't make its way down the entire intestine. So she wasn't able to absorb any of the food. And the only way that we were able to treat that is to keep her from eating anything by mouth. So she was not allowed to eat anything by mouth for at least 6 months.
Until April of 2025.
I'm
Correct.
gonna
And Ms. Torres also
zoom
testified
this
about-
guy.
You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm probably just
Hello, Erica.
Hey,
listen to Erica.
How are you doing today?
okay.
And then I'll just give you guys the verdict.
Erica, I want to start off by asking, how have the actions done by the defendant on June 1st, 2024 affected you?
I have lack of nutrition. I usually am always weak. I have a lot of scars, a lot of pain. Pain is usually internally,
She
my
is
stomach.
amazing, by the way.
Okay, well, I guess
An absolutely amazing person. She's
so.
only been out of the
Seems like a
hospital
lot. I guess let's start with the physical
just
first. All right.
maybe, I don't know, 3
And
months,
if
something
you
like
will,
that.
we'll-
2,
if
3
we can start
months.
from the head down, okay? What type of injuries did you have to get treated because of what Mr. Delgado did?
Well, I have a hole left from the trach. It's just there. And then one of the bullets went through my dominant left hand.
Permission to approach the witness, Your Honor? I'm going to show you what's been previously marked as State's Exhibit 53. Do you recognize this photo?
Yes, I took it.
You took this photo,
I took the screenshot of my x-ray.
and it's a true and accurate depiction of what it portrays to be?
Yes.
Has it been altered in any shape or form?
No.
All right. Your Honor, I'll tender to defense for any objection. State's Exhibit 53.
Judge, I don't think I received these medical records in discovery, so I'm gonna object. Unless they're in discovery, we can use them.
They are in discovery.
Okay, which ones are they?
They're tendered to you.
Judge, I don't remember seeing this in discovery. Also, I object.
Were they tender?
Yes, sir, they were tender. We tendered him a hard drive with all the pieces of evidence we had. This was on that hard drive.
Okay, well, I guess if you're sure, as an officer of the court, I'll overrule the objection. You may proceed to admit it.
Thank you.
I just want to add, because I just noticed some of my hair sticking up.
What are we looking at here?
Last
That is my
October,
left
I
hand.
had a very
In between
large
my middle finger and index finger, you will
goose egg
see
tumor
small little dots
removed
in between the two
the back of my
knuckles.
head.
Those,
Let me stop you there. Are they?
And
well, there's
lost
bullet
probably
fragments right
2/3 of
there,
my
and
hair
as well in between
back there. So it's growing
the
back.
hand.
So
Like,
this right here?
yes,
And this goes out right here?
But
yes,
it does
and then
like to stick out.
that one as well.
I can't help it. 'Cause it's
That as well,
going
and
through,
then
growing,
in
Peggy.
between the two middle fingers, that little white line that's in between, those are bullet fragments as well.
Okay, and which hand is this?
This is my left hand. It's my dominant hand.
And where are those fragments today?
They're still in my hand. They cannot be removed. If removed, they would cause a lot more damage.
What kind of damage?
Probably not being able to function correctly. At the moment, I'm able to move my hands, but I have no sensation in these three fingers. I have multiple pain always radiating up to my arm, down all the way to my neck, due to the fragments and the damage that is to my nerves on my hand.
Yeah.
Do you have a hole here? Or
Yes, I have a hole and I have a scar.
Thank you. Have you regained confidence in that hand?
No, I have not.
And you said that that was your dominant hand?
Yes,
So are you able to write today?
I'm able to write, not as legible, and I'm unable to hold a pen or pencil completely.
Okay. Now, where else were you injured?
I have a lot of injuries on my abdomen. There's just multiple injuries. I have multiple surgeries. I had a hole with my intestine out. With the intestine being out, it had a fistula, which is a hole.
Now, real quick, you said you had a hole. How long did you have that hole?
I still have it. It still hasn't completely healed.
Okay. Now, and you were talking about what was it?
A fistula. It's a hole. The fistula was located in my stomach. So all the acid that our stomach has to break down foods was spilling out through there. Anything that I would intake, as in water, anything to drink, food, medications, anything was coming out through that hole. Drainage was every day. I was stuck to a wall suction, and it suctioned out every day what I was
FYI,
spitting.
I have 3
For the
cats.
first couple of months, I was
And
usually
my
stuck in bed.
fiance and I live in
Due
a
to being in bed for
very
such a long time,
tiny
I had to
2-bedroom
relearn how to
apartment.
walk
I
as
currently
well.
have 2
Okay.
of the 3 cats in here
Let's
with
move
me.
back a little bit. Were you?
One
So
is
you said you weren't
sleeping,
able to. Were you able to eat
and the
food?
other is
No.
being active
I wasn't able
at
to
the
eat food
moment.
at all while I was there at the
And
hospital, nor drink
his name is
anything.
Rascal, and
Okay, and
he
how long were you not able to eat food for?
lives up to his name.
Almost a whole year.
And not being able to eat food, how did that
He
affect
is
you?
a rascal.
It emotionally and mentally, it's really, really hard. It's like as if somebody's depriving you from everything.
And did it affect you physically in any shape or form?
It did. I was underweight. I had no muscle. I had no muscle. My hair was falling out. My teeth were hurting constantly.
Well, girl, I gotta say, you look
To keep
amazing.
nutrition, it was through
I wish I looked as good as you.
an IV in my arm. That was like that for like 11 months. And Monday, 3 times out of the week, I had wound care which were dressings that they would come in and remove all the dressings, all the tape, everything that they had, wash, clean, everything they needed to do to keep this area from getting infected again. Doing that and being on the meds that they had me on, I felt everything. I felt every tug, every pull, my
So I was
skin
a
burning.
CNA for
I
17 years. I wish I would have gone
I
back
would
and gotten my
always
nursing degree.
ask
If I
myself,
did,
like,
I would have
why? Like,
absolutely
why am I
been
having to go through this?
a
And
wound
why
care
is it
nurse.
that I'm surviving all of this?
All of my knowledge
So
You mentioned
just
skin
comes
burning. What do you mean your
from
skin
being
was burning?
a CNA,
that
and
hole that I
working in
had,
the
the
local
acid that
hospital
would fall
here
out,
for a number of
sometimes it
years.
was so much that it wasn't able to suction out. And because of that, so it would sit in the pocket and around my skin around
And
the
it's
hole
usually like
would
this
burn,
accordion thing.
like
So
burn off.
it's like a disc, 2 discs, and there's an accordion. So
Now, what
kind of
injuries, if any,
goes
did you receive below your
in
waistline?
and out. It's like a suction
A double
on
compound
the
fracture
wound.
on my right foot.
Permission to approach, Your Honor? Yes. I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 54. Do you recognize this photo?
Yes, I do.
How do you recognize it?
It's a screenshot that I took.
Okay, and is it a
It's
true and
ac-
accurate depiction of what it portrays to be?
Yes, it is.
Has it been altered in any shape or form?
No, it hasn't.
Okay, thank you. Your Honor, let the record reflect I'm tendering to defense State's Exhibit 54 for inspection and any objection. Just part of the thing. It's already there. Objection, Judge. Permission to publish, Your Honor? Yes. Thank you. So I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 54. Can you please explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what we're looking at here?
That is my right foot. It's a complete break.
Is that where it's circled there?
Yes.
So that's the complete break you're speaking of?
Yes. And I have rods, screws, and I have a plate.
So you have and where is this plate and rods and screws currently today?
Still in my foot. I will be unable to remove them. I have to keep them on like forever.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because
I have
that piece right
screws
there that is broken.
in my Achilles
Yes,
tendon.
does not heal.
I feel you,
So
girl.
the screws and rods and metal keep my foot together.
Yeah.
Has that affected your mobility in any way?
Yes, I am able to walk. I cannot wear certain shoes. My foot always is swollen. It's always in pain. I do
I know
walk.
the feeling. Girl, do I
Walking
ever.
is only minimal. Can't walk for a long time. At the moment, I cannot run and I cannot jump. I'm unable to lift anything more than 10 pounds.
Now, earlier you testified that you had to relearn to walk. How long did it take you to become mobile after this accident?
Boy, I bet she
Without
had.
any assistance or using a walker or anything would be
I bet
around
she
the
had a lot of
time in
muscle
January,
atrophy.
maybe February. And it was very minimal
And this is
of 2025.
of 2025?
Mhm.
And what would you think during your mobility recovery?
I did not see. I didn't see it ending. I didn't see an ending. There was always something new, always another complication. There was always another hurdle to have to go. It feels like it's a never ending hurdle with all these injuries.
At any point in time, did you ever want to give up or feel hopeless?
Yes. Yes, I did multiple times. I started losing sleep over it. I don't have sleeping, like I have insomnia because it's constant. Like I said, always in pain. It's always just a reminder of everything that I have to go through the next day. And the next day is always a hurdle to have to just get up itself.
What would you say was the length of your recovery?
I'm still in recovery. I'm never gonna be done with recovery. I have short gut syndrome. I don't absorb foods, liquids correctly. I cannot, I don't have energy throughout my day. Just simply walking around, going upstairs or going downstairs, it's a struggle. It is.
And you mentioned that you will always be in your recovery. Are you still being treated for your injuries today?
Yes, I still am. I am seeing multiple doctors at the moment.
What medications are you currently on?
At the moment, I'm taking a Protonix. I'm taking Lyrica, Zoloft, Seroquel for sleep, and I take a Gatix. It's an injection that has to be taken every day, and that helps with some of the absorption in food that I can intake throughout my day.
Did you have to take a Gatix today?
Yes, every morning.
Did you ever have any complications while you were in the hospital?
No, I was a healthy 31-year-old with no complications.
Did you ever have complications while you were in the hospital?
Yes, multiple complications.
What kind?
From what I've understood, it was always one thing after another at the beginning of the stay. After they were able to stable me and kind of figure out, it was always day to day. It wasn't, oh, we're going to do this because this is a long period of time. No, we had to wait day by day. Surgeries were not planned ahead of time. Surgeries were literally planned within like just days just to see how I was.
How has your life changed emotionally? How has this affected your mental state?
I've never had anxiety. I never felt depression.
I want to say that there's also something
And it's just an absolute horrible
that is
feeling.
called an ICU
PTSD is
delirium.
even worse.
ICU
You
delirium
lose sometimes time.
could also be
You're just sitting there
generalized
and you're just
hospital
thinking, and it's
delirium.
playing over and over in your head. And you're trying to get out of it and you
So
can't.
it could,
And you just
I'm
sit
sure it
there.
really mentally exhausted her.
It's kind of like if you feel numb and you're trying to wake up from it and you can't. So mentally, I'm constantly struggling.
In just
Prior
a
to this, were you on
few
any of
minutes,
these medications?
her
No.
life was
I was
changed
healthy, 31, no broken bones,
dramatically.
no medications.
How have the actions of Mr. Delgado affected your
Like
family?
drastically. Oh, this poor girl. I bet she's on a lot.
It's affected
Oh,
everybody very differently. My parents had to start preparing for choices that I really do not believe any parent should have to make.
yeah.
My daughters,
Unfortunately,
they're so
she
innocent. They have
can
an
no
insane
longer have
mind,
children. She has 2
and
daughters.
they're so
Prior to
scared.
this,
I can't even leave a
she
room
can't have any
sometimes.
more.
My oldest was not even present at the time, and she is terrified to leave me alone. She tracks my every move because she is terrified that her mom isn't gonna
And
come
she's
home.
only like
How am I supposed to
11
explain
now?
something like that to an 11-year-old?
Yeah.
And then I have my baby. How is she supposed to see her dad, her biological father, do what he did? How is she supposed to explain that? How is she supposed to go to school and be around kids that might know what's going on? My
I know,
daughter's
girl.
innocence have been taken away, and they were taken away by her father. My children should have not, they should not be going through this. This is horrible.
Can you do any of the things that you used to enjoy prior to this accident?
At the moment, I'm not able to.
Like what? What can't you do?
We would always be either out at the ranch riding. I cannot ride horses right now, so my daughters have to do it on their own. We used to go to the gym a lot together, all three of us. Swimming, they love swimming. I cannot get into a pool at the moment.
I'm hoping to
Driving,
one day
simply
get a
driving.
better mic, by
I
the
mean, right
way.
now, my mom
Smaller.
and I, we watch the girls together and
That,
stuff, but my
that'll
mom
be a
sometimes
long
does
ways
have to go to
away.
work. If they want to go somewhere, they have to wait because I'm not able to drive
Why can't you drive?
because the doctors are not allowing me, my doctors are not allowing me to drive due to the PTSD that I have and the trauma that I have. It's not safe, and as well, my abdomen is still open, so they do not think it's safe for me to be conducting a vehicle.
Would you say that you're able to live your life normally?
No. I'm not able to. I used to be very carefree. I was never aware of my surroundings, you know. I really never believed anything bad would happen. And now I am constantly looking at the cameras in our house. I am terrified when people come to the door. I do not like any confrontation at all with anybody. I literally shut down and don't say nothing. Like it's a horror. It's just horrible. Like my sense of feeling safe and secure is already taken away.
Are you able to carry your daughters?
No. Like I said, I'm not able to lift 10 pounds or more. So I haven't been able to carry my baby at all for the past year.
Erica, how do you feel here sitting in court today?
I am nervous. I'm just really, really nervous. I want justice. I've had to pay for my wrongdoings. I've had to appear in court. I've had to deal with all the wrongdoings that I've done. I want justice for myself too. I may not have outcried many other times that I could have, but this isn't supposed to happen. My life was not supposed to be in his hands. He's not God.
Do you believe that Billy Delgado gave you a life sentence of pain and suffering?
Yeah, he did. He did. He gave me a life sentencing, and he didn't just give it to me, but like I said, he gave it to my daughters, gave it to my family and my friends.
Pass the witness.
Ms. Torres,
Mm-hmm.
the jury is here to determine Mr. Delgado's sentence, right? Which will probably include a prison sentence. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, you have experience being in jail. Did you have a very pleasant experience while you were there?
No.
Back in 2012, you were booked into the Laredo Police Department for assaulting a family member. How many days in jail did you do for that?
I was not in jail. I was in there for 6 hours.
Okay, so you paid for that one. by $6.
Yeah, I'm starting to get
Okay. In 2016,
quite a bit
you
of
were
pain
assaulted,
here, so
an
that
assault
I'm
causing
gonna
bodily
fast
injury.
forward
How many days in jail did you do for that one?
to the sentencing verdict. And then call it a day.
Ladies and gentlemen, as I said, both sides have rested and closed their evidence on the punishment phase of the trial. We have the final charge. I'm going to read it to you. Once again, you'll have it in the jury room.
Fast forward through all this. They're just gonna do their arguments. See if they come back. Yeah, they do come back.
Verdict, is that verdict unanimous, sir?
Yes, sir.
Could you hand it to the bailiff for me? Thank you. Mr. Delgado, counsel, would you please rise for me? Cause number 2025 CRG 000717D2, the state of Texas versus Billy Delgado. We assess his punishment at confinement in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice for a term of 50 years. No fine assessed. Do you wish to have him pulled?
Yes, sir.
That is the most excellent. I think that's the max.
Okay, same thing, ladies
I
and gentlemen. I'm
remember
going to call your last name. If you agree with the verdict, say yes. If you don't, for some reason, say no. Nieta?
And yeah, for the jury protection, they mute that. Most states do. Most states usually don't even say their name.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to accept and receive your verdict. At this time, Mr. Delgado, would you and counsel please approach the bench for me?
Hey, finally, we
The
can
jury
see
having
the
returned a
dude.
verdict of 50 years in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. Is there any legal reason why we should not proceed to sentencing at this time?
No, Your
Then, Mr. Delgado, I will accept the verdict, assess a 50-year term in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. You will receive credit for any time you've been incarcerated pursuant to the law, and you have 30 days in which to file a motion for new trial and notice of appeal, which your lawyer can further advise you on. If you'll have a seat over there, I believe we may have some victim impact statements.
Your Honor, one question.
Any victim impact?
Yes, yes, Your Honor. Or will we be going off the record?
To go off the record pursuant to the.
Yeah, correct, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, that's the rule. You don't have to ask me. I follow the rules. Okay, my understanding, y'all can have a seat there if you don't mind. And I believe they come up to the bench for security purposes and we do the victim impact from right here. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this is an opportunity now that the sentence has been heard and imposed for individuals affected by the case to address the court or to address the jury or to address the defendant directly. And for security reasons, we ask them to come right up here, please. And as I indicated, you can face me, you can face the jury, or you can face the defendant. You may proceed.
I'm just gonna go ahead and fast forward.
There are
This
no
is
words that can truly capture what I felt
I'm-
like
I'm-
that day you shot me. My
she's
life
been
changed
very
forever.
vocal how much this has affected
In
her.
that moment, I faced.
So let's fast forward. And then we'll call it quits here. And like I say here on the banner, that I'll probably be back later this evening around 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Because I am in Pacific Standard Time. I am in Washington State. So I'm on the West Coast. I do plan on streaming everything earlier in the day. I just needed to get caught up on this one. Otherwise, I would have started it today. But I will be setting up that stream here shortly. because I do have some things I need to do, and my back is really starting to hurt and getting uncomfortable. So I will end this for now, and I will see you all later. Bye.